To the immediate past General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAWU, Edward Kareweh. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for your time this evening. I hope you're well.
I'm doing well, very strong.
Right. Now, the government says that over 920,000 farmers are likely to lose about 7.4 billion cedis of investments if their crops fail owing to the dry spell being recorded in some parts of the country. Is this the reality, or is there another picture that you can paint to us?
Well, let me say good evening and then thanks for the opportunity. I think what government has given as by way of statistics, we should consider that as conservative figures. It could even be more. So, because government may not be able to reach every part of the affected areas, count every farm, see every farm, and be able to have that data. So what government has given out, in my view, is a conservative figure. It is likely to be more than that, but not less anyway.
Well, how widespread is the situation?
Well, the whole of the northern regions, and then also part of Brunhafo regions, and then also northern Volta are all affected. So it is widespread, and it's a large area of our country that has been affected, and also the particular, area is a food basket of the country. As is known, it's over 60% of Ghana's food stock comes from that part of the country. So you can imagine the impact it is having on our food stock. The rest is just left with 40% of our food stock, which comes from the other parts of the country. So, and you know that we are already in food crisis before this drought came in. We saw it on our market, where price of foodstuffs are just beyond the reach of many consumers. I know more so at a time when prices have been down, the prices are still going up because this is the harvesting period, the season in the southern part of the country. So prices have been down, but in this year in particular, prices are still very high. So the drought has only come to exacerbate the existing food crisis.
What is the danger this portends for us, especially regarding food security?
Well, our food security has now been in more danger than before. But we knew that given all the things affecting agriculture, production in this country, this year we're going to have the worst of food security challenges as compared to the previous years. Now, this drought has come, and we shouldn't think that we are out of the woods yet. We are not. The Bagri Dam effect is going to exacerbate the problem, and then from now until September 15th to 20th, we expect heavy rains. And if these rains become so much, they may cause flooding. So when they cause flooding, the surviving farms, or the farms that have survived the drought, and the crops that have survived the crops may be affected again. So you can see that the estimates that have been given to us now is as it is today. But we shouldn't think that that is the end of it. And we should only pray that we don't get so much heavy rains to cause much more havoc to livestock, crops, and then human life.
One wonders, how did we get here in the first place? I mean, we know that the drought is an occurrence, more or less a natural phenomenon, although there is some level of climate change impact in there. But is it that we're not heeding to weather warnings? Is it that we already do not have measures in place for future occurrences such as this? How did we get here?
You know, we got here by our own negligence or refusal to do what we have to do. If it is drought, this is not the first time we've had drought. You know, and we should not think that this particular drought will be the last. But as to when it will come, we don't know. So, in view of that, those who came before us, leaders who came before us, decided to build some dams. If you look at the Tono irrigation dam, it was built by the Achampong at his time. He built that one and the Via Dam and other dams. What we needed to be doing over the period is to be increasing our irrigation, share of agriculture. And that's why we were so much excited after many years of advocacy that we should build more dams. The government finally came with the Pologo multipurpose dam, which we were all excited. But as we speak, it isn't that we didn't know that we'll be running into crisis. We didn't know that there's a need for us to increase irrigation agriculture to increase our food stock. We knew about all that, but how did we fare so far? The dam, as it stands now, has not been constructed. The One Village, One Dam, unfortunately, has not also been successful. So it isn't that we are not aware, but it's just that we want to wish things away. We want to have easy way of doing things. Now that the drought has come, you can see the seriousness in the eyes of the government, the ministers who spoke about what they are going to do. They will now find the money. They will do this. They will get from development partners. They will make sure that it is non-partisan and so on and so forth. We wouldn't have gotten to where we are today. As for droughts, they always come. As for natural disasters, they come. But it is for that reason that we put in measures to mitigate natural disasters when they come. They have spoken so well. They have had good intentions. But again, just like in the past, policies have had good intentions. But implementation has never been good at all. You see, we are even fortunate today that this drought only occurred in the northern part of the country. If it had come to the southern part of the country, it would have been more serious than it is now. But we have destroyed the entire southern part of the country with this galamsey. You see, so much as we are putting in place measures to deal with this disaster and then also to guarantee that there's food in the country by banning exportation of foodstuffs and so on, these are temporary measures. The long-term measures, we are not addressing them well. We also have our own version of climate change. And our own version of climate change is galamsey. I know, which is more devastating than the climate change that we know. Because that one is permanent. The lands are destroyed permanently, the forest is destroyed permanently, the rivers are polluted all over. They are all permanent destruction. So it is more dangerous than even the climate change that we know. So these are all things that, whilst we are trying to deal with the recent drought, I was thinking that government will also come out with a clear outline as to how, by the end of the year, they will have reduced the galamsey activities to some level, reduce it by 10% or 20% or 30%. And let's now interrogate that. Then we know that there's a plan forward. But as of now, no one is talking about it at all.
Now, Doc, in the short term, as we heard the minister announce, this ban on exportation of grains, how critical is it?
Well, we have no choice than to make the ban because we already do not have enough grain, and then with this drought, so that is the only choice we have to make. Now, if we make this ban, the next thing is to make sure that you actually enforce the ban. I also listened to the Minister for Defense that they would deploy the security to help. Now, the question one is asking is, where was the security in the past? We have had so many smuggling going on, not only foodstuffs, but including inputs that we have used foreign exchange to buy, including our cocoa, smuggling of cocoa. Where was this security? I mean, where was the Minister for Defense? Why didn't he deploy the security to make sure that we hold or we minimize the smuggling of cocoa outside the country. So again, we just think that I hope that the seriousness that they have come today to meet and speak to the Ghanaian population, they will continue with that to make sure that the implementation is properly done, so that we don't come and lose money yet we have not achieved the result.
Now, the government has its flagship initiative, the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. Government has said that some 3 billion Ghana cedis has already been expended under this initiative. With the current situation we're facing, this drought, this dry spell, and its impact on crops and food security, what does it say about this Planting for Food and Jobs?
So we even have a lot of doubts with the phase 2, the Planting for Food and Jobs 2.0. We had some concerns about the manner in which it was being implemented. And then this has only come to exacerbate the problem. So what it means is that that particular program is in jeopardy now. It's in jeopardy. So we are not going to have the effect of it, much of it, this year, because the whole concentration from now onward is to deal with that. And I've also heard them say they are dispatching fertilizers and inputs. They will make sure that it's non-partisan. They want people to register on their platform that they've created, and that those who have registered on the platform, they will be served and the rest. When we know very well that we have not concluded registration of farmers on the platform, it is not just as easy as that. Even we, those who are literate, and we are in the cities, network is not all the time good for us. How much more those in the rural areas? So if they are going to rely on only those who have registered on the platform to be able to service them, there will be many more vulnerable farmers who will be cut out from these services. So they need to have multiple measures combining those that have registered on the platform and then those that are genuinely in need of support, yet they are not on the platform, to support them. So, and then again, governments should take the lead, should lead the group to implement these broad-based measures to address the drought impact on the Ghana's food security. But they must involve the appropriate stakeholders in it, so that they will make sure that it is properly done. But if it is left to government alone, of course, it doesn't have the capacity to deal with this very huge challenge.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time this evening, and we wish you well.
Thank you, sir.